guys, Mynn here from Honest Stampage. I am super excited to be joining Crafters Castle and TaylorMade Cards for You this month with their newest release. It's this gorgeous soda fountain kit. I love all the elements in it. And what I did was I used some of the papers and elements to create a little treat bag. Hopefully you can see there on the side that there's some treats in there, and it stands up, which you can now not see, but it's standing up. And I just love the vintage feel of this kit. It is so cute. So before we get started, I want to show you all of the papers and elements that are in this kit because they are just beautiful. And like I said, I love the vintage feel. So let's start with the papers. So first up we have this dual paper. We've got this nice turquoise with the hearts, and then a subtle nice pink and white diamond pattern. And please ignore the lines. That is my printer. That is not her designs. I was a little bit annoyed, but my printer's a little bit on the fritz. And then next we have this gorgeous full page that has 4 different small sizes. We've got the hearts, the ombre pink. We're actually going to be using this one today to create this. And then 2 different ephemera pages. So this one has all sorts of cute things. We're going to be using this little soda fountain tag. It's got all of these different things. We're going to use the soda fountain tag. We're going to use this little milkshake. It's even got little soda fountain shop down here, guest check. And then we've got this gorgeous page that has the different vintage little library cards with the images from the soda fountain. And we're going to be using one of these as well. So first things first, I'm going to show you how to create this outside bag part. So you're going to need to get this beautiful soda fountain pack, and you're going to need this page right here, and you're going to cut out these 4 pages to where these 2 are separate from these 2. So I'm going to do that and I will be right back. All right, I am back, and I have 2 of the heart pieces and 1 of the ombre pink pieces, and we are going to use these to put together our little treat outer sack part. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this ombre pink one and you're going to cut it at 2.5 inches, whichever, and then you can use, you could do the darker pink, you could do the lighter pink. It's not super, like, it doesn't matter either way. What I did was, after I printed the page that has the 2 hearts and then the ombre pink, I cut out the 2 hearts, as you can see on the edges, and I cut this part out of the ombre pink. I want to say it's about half of it. And I took this piece, and what I did was, I have another little prototype. I scored about 1/4 inch on either side. And after I did that, I folded up these pieces, added double-sided tape, and then added this all the way down to the bottom. So that is how I've created this little treat bag section, okay? And then I've got my holes up here for my baker's twine. And then what I did was I opened this up like this, and I added some double-sided tape right here so that I could take my bag of candy, and instead of trying to have the hole punch go through this, it just had to go through here. I laid this to where the bottom of the candy bag is halfway in the middle of the bottom section, and then I just adhered it with the double-sided tape. And you don't have to use a plastic bag. You could use a little paper sack with cookies or whatever you want, but that way it's glued in there, and then you'll be able to just poke through holes, okay? So that's how you do this section. I'm going to show you how I created this focal centerpiece for my little treat bag. So what I've done is I've already cut out the little soda fountain and the little sundae, or actually it's a shake, it's not a sundae, the little strawberry shake. And I'm going to layer this onto here, and I'm also going to show you how I got this sentiment right here, okay? So this is going to be what I layer on, and I'm going to take one of these, and I'm actually going to turn it this way, And then I'm gonna take a sentiment that says "You're berry sweet." And if you notice, it doesn't have the berry on here. So what I've done is I take some tape, and it can be any kind of tape. I'm just gonna use some washi tape that I have laying around. And you tape off the part that you don't want stamped. So in my case here, I don't want the berry to be stamped. Let me pull this over a little bit so you can see better. So I'm gonna take this tape, if I can get it off. I'm gonna take some of this tape and I'm gonna tape off where it says berry. And I'm gonna push it down so that the "your" and "sweet" is still showing. It's a little bit fiddly. So that's how I'm gonna get rid of the berry. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some ink, some black ink. I'm gonna scooch these out of the way. And I'm gonna ink this up really well. And you're probably like, oh my gosh, but if you stamp that, then the ink from the tape will be on there. And you're right, which is why after you ink it up very well, you take this tape off and you throw it in the trash. And then you stamp your partial sentiment. And I'm gonna put it right there. And there I've got just "your sweet" instead of "your berry sweet." So there's a little tip for you. If you have some really cute sentiments, but you don't always want to use the pun part of it, you can just tape it off and then throw that away, okay? So now that we've got that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it. And all I did was just follow this line and cut it up here. I stopped here at the red line, cut down, cut across this blue line right here. See how nice this is to be able to just use the lines that are already there. And then because I didn't quite have the best line for right here, I actually took my cutting tool and cut that off where I wanted that to be cut. So I'm going to take this, cut that off. And there I have my little partial sentiment. So now is the fun part where we get to do all of our layering. So I'm going to start by putting on this "your sweet" with some adhesive foam, because I love when you get some depth and some dimension on a project. So I'm going to add this right up here and then push it all the way to the side. And then I'm going to take my little soda fountain and my little shake. Actually, before I put this on, I want to add some glittery glimmer. So I'm going to use a Sakura gel pen, and I'm just going to color in the blue part, the shadow part of the ice cream on top, or the whipped cream, whatever you want to call it. It's whipped cream. Sorry, I'm having problems with words today. And so I'm just going to follow this and add some shimmer just to the shadow part. I'm being heavier handed where it's dark and then lighter handed where it's light. And this is just going to add another fun dimension to it. And I think I also might do the glass down here just to give some more depth and dimension to that, because it's fun. So there we've got some shimmer. Hopefully you can see the shimmer that gel pen gives. And I'm also going to adhere this with dimensional foam. And the way that I do this, because I want this to lay nicely on here but pop up here, so I always put it there. And what I do is I take just a smaller piece and I put it up top where I know it's going to go. I take my glue runner and I just add a tiny bit right here to the corner so that there's an adhesive for that. And then I take my paper snips and I cut a thin piece for down here at the bottom, where the little base of the glass is. And I put that on there. So there's like, I've got the dimension, but then I also have this part right here, which is going to be held in by the glue. Okay, so now that I've got that done, we're going to actually add this part to some white and pink postal stripe. And all I did for this was I just stuck it on here. And actually, I think I'm going to turn it this way. It'll be easier for me to cut. I just kind of look at where I think it's going to be good. Add some adhesive to it. Use my glue runner. And you could always, of course, do that before you add your little digital layers, but you don't have to. And I'm going to put that right like that. And then I'm just going to take this and cut straight up. If you don't feel like you're going to cut it straight enough, you can absolutely use a cutting tool. So there I have that part. So now all we have left is to add some embellishments and then add this to the front of our treat bag. So the embellishments that I chose to use for this are a little black doily, which I'm going to lay on top of that since my background is black. And then some foam hearts that are glittery, just a foam heart that's glittery, some cork elements and a little gem, and then some liquid pearls and onyx. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding this little doily, and I'm going to make sure, because sometimes two of these get stuck together and then it causes real problems, but it looks like this is just one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a strip of double-sided tape right here to this side because it's going to be opposite our milkshake. And I'm going to stick that right on there. So there it is with the cute little doily behind it. And then I'm going to add one of these smaller hearts right here next to your sweet. Then I'm going to add a cork flower right back in here to make it kind of look layered. Isn't that sweet? It's so cute. And then I'm going to take a little gem to put in the center, right like that. And then last but not least, I'm going to take some liquid pearls and just add a few accents. I always like to do them in groups of 3. It's more pleasing to the eye, and sometimes I like to make some of my liquid pearls a little bit bigger than the others. It's a fiddly process, but you just carefully swirl around and then it kind of gives you a bigger one and a smaller one. And if you don't like it, you just add a little bit more, but you literally just plop it down and then you stop squeezing and then you just bring it around. It's not perfect, but I do like it. So there's that. And I'm actually going to lay this aside for a second before we put it on to dry. Then all you've got to do is take this and glue this darling little focal point to your bag. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use double-sided foam because I think it'd be fun for it to have a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to do foam here and foam here. And this is fun too because you give the little treat, but then they have this cute little bag that can stay as like a little decoration for them. And so I just think it's fun all the way around. And I'm going to put this here on the front of my bag. And then I'm going to take my baker's twine. And you always want to go through the back with your baker's twine. So both pieces are going through the back. And I'm going to pull it. Ooh, sorry, this is getting a little fiddly. And then I'm going to tie it. And a lot of people have asked me how I get my bows to where they hang down like this. And it's really not super hard. You just do this, and then if you want to, you could tie a knot here. I don't usually, but if you're new to this technique, you could. I take and I make my 2 bunny ears right away. And then I just fold my bunny ears underneath each other. And I make sure that my little strings stay down, and I pull these. And then I just use them to finagle making the bow however big I want. so that when I'm done, gotta finagle a little bit, sorry. Then my little legs of the bow, or whatever you want to call them, stayed down. So that is how I created this darling treat bag using the new Tailor Made Cards for You set soda fountain passport kit. I absolutely adore this kit. I hope you go and grab it, and I hope that you have fun playing with it. Don't forget to join the rest of the hop and see all of the other amazing creations that everybody else has done, because this kit is so versatile and you're going to want to see everybody's creations. And until next time, hugs and happy crafting, friends.